stop. Before you scroll past this, I need you to hear what's happening in the sky today, because March 29th is not a normal day. There is an alignment active right now that I haven't seen talked about enough. And once I explain what it actually means, I think you're going to understand why you've been feeling the way you have. Something is moving through you today, something deep, something that has been coiled up and waiting. And today, right now, it's finally ready to move. Today, the moon at 18 degrees Scorpio is forming a trine to Mars at 18 degrees Cancer. And I don't say this to hype you up. This is the kind of alignment that doesn't whisper. It moves through you. Whatever you've been feeling underneath the surface, that drive, that protective instinct, that fierce emotional current, it's not staying quiet anymore. What you've been holding back, what you've been too guarded to act on, I think it's about to become impossible to contain. And if you've been feeling this strange undercurrent lately, like something's pressing up against the inside of your chest trying to get out, but you can't quite identify what it is, stay with me. Because there's a very specific reason that's happening right now, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what it means later in this video. But first, I need you to understand something important. Right now, at this very moment, you are already inside the energy field of this alignment. It's already active. It's already moving through you. And if you're one of the 3 signs I'm going to talk about, you're about to experience something significant. We're talking deep emotional breakthroughs, sudden clarity on something you've been circling for weeks, and the kind of inner power that makes you feel like you finally remembered who you are. But only if you're willing to feel what's actually there. The moon in Scorpio trine Mars in Cancer, and it's happening right now. So let me explain what's actually going on in the sky today, because this isn't just astrology to me. This is about understanding the exact moment when your emotional truth and your capacity to act on it finally move in the same direction. On March 29th, the moon sits at exactly 18 degrees Scorpio, forming a precise trine to Mars at 18 degrees Cancer. 2 water signs, 1 perfect angle, 120 degrees of raw emotional momentum. Now, I know that might sound technical, but stay with me, because what this actually means is so much more interesting than the math. The moon governs our inner world, our emotional body, our instincts and the way we feel things before we can even name them. And right now, the moon is in Scorpio, the sign of depth, intensity, hidden truth, and transformation. This isn't surface-level feeling. This is the kind of emotional current that runs beneath everything, the feeling underneath the feeling. And then there's Mars in Cancer. Mars is the planet of action, drive, courage, and desire. It's what moves us. But in Cancer, Mars doesn't charge forward recklessly. It acts from the gut, from protection, from love, from that primal, almost animal instinct to defend what matters most to you. Mars in Cancer doesn't fight for ego. It fights for home, for people, for the things so deep inside you they don't even have names yet. Does that land? When these 2 energies form a trine, which is a flowing, harmonious aspect, they don't create friction. They create current, a channel. Suddenly, what you feel and what you're capable of doing about it are speaking the same language. The emotional depth of Scorpio combined with the driven, protective force of Mars in Cancer. Today, those 2 things are working together, and that is rare. Here's what I think most people miss about a trine. Because trines feel smooth, people assume they're passive. Like, oh, good vibes, nothing to do. But that's not how this works. A trine is like a door that's already open. The energy is available. It's moving. But you still have to walk through it. You still have to choose to use it. And the moon in Scorpio trine Mars in Cancer. This is one of the most potent combinations for taking emotionally honest action that exists in astrology. It's not aggressive. It's not reckless. It's deep, intentional, and rooted in what actually matters. Think of it like this. You've been sitting with something, a feeling, a truth, a need, maybe for months. And every time it comes up, there's been this invisible wall between what you feel and what you do about it. Fear, uncertainty, the old wound that says, what if I'm wrong? What if I get hurt again? What if it doesn't work? Today, that wall is thinner than it's ever been. And if you push, even gently, I think you're going through it. Because here's the thing about Scorpio moon energy today. Scorpio doesn't deal in half-truths. It goes all the way down. It wants to see what's real, not what's comfortable. So whatever you've been avoiding looking at directly, in your relationships, in yourself, in a situation that hasn't resolved, today you're going to feel it clearly, not painfully, clearly. And that clarity, that's the gift. Here's what's happening on a deeper level, and this is just as important. The trine between Moon in Scorpio and Mars in Cancer isn't just an emotional moment. It's an alignment of instinct and intention. Scorpio rules the hidden, the things beneath the surface, the psychology of desire, the power that comes from truly knowing yourself. Cancer rules the personal, home, roots, the people and places that shaped you, what you're willing to protect. When these two signs connect through Mars and the Moon, what happens is something quiet but enormous. You stop pretending you don't care about the things you care about most. Let that sit for a second. Because so many people are walking around managing their emotional world, keeping it contained, keeping it reasonable, keeping it quiet, because feeling deeply felt dangerous at some point. And Scorpio Moon trine Mars in Cancer today is saying, that time is over. Your depth is not a liability, it is your power. Maybe you've been holding back from a conversation that needs to happen. Maybe there's a decision you've been circling because it requires you to actually commit to something you want. And wanting things that much has felt unsafe. Maybe there's a person in your life who needs to hear where you actually stand. Whatever it is, today the emotional energy and the action energy are lined up in your favor. The question is whether you're going to use that or let the window pass. This is why today isn't just about feeling, it's about movement. Quiet, intentional, emotionally honest movement. The kind that comes from the gut. The kind that doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. And your real desire, it might not be what you've been telling yourself it is. Let's talk about what this energy is actually pointing toward, because I don't think we're just talking about big, dramatic life overhauls here. Though for some people, that's exactly what's happening. I think what's coming up today under Moon in Scorpio trine Mars in Cancer is the desire for emotional realness, connection that isn't managed, relationships where you don't have to perform okayness, situations where you get to actually show up as the version of yourself that feels things deeply and acts from that depth. With the Moon in Scorpio today, a lot of what surfaces is about truth, specifically the truth you've been protecting other people from, the feeling you haven't said out loud because you didn't want to be too much, the need you haven't named because naming it made it real and real things can be lost. But Mars in Cancer is rooted. It's not interested in managing perception. It's interested in protecting what's real. When these two energies trine today, I really believe something inside you is going to clarify. The thing you've been circling, you're going to understand what it actually is. The feeling you've been managing, you're going to stop managing it and start moving with it. The desire you've been afraid to act on, it's going to feel more urgent than the fear of getting it wrong. What this means for the water signs especially, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, you are in the middle of this. You are the element. Today this trine isn't happening near you, it's happening through you. For Cancer specifically, Mars is in your sign right now. That means your drive, your protective energy, your capacity to act. It's activated. And the Moon in Scorpio is in your 5th house of emotional expression, risk, and what you love most. Today, the universe is asking you to be brave about what you love, to stop protecting everyone else's comfort at the expense of your own. I know that's been your pattern. I know you've been the one holding things together, keeping the peace, making sure everyone else is okay before you let yourself need anything. But today, with Mars lit up in your sign and the Scorpio moon illuminating what you actually feel, you get permission to want things, to say so, to act on it. And I really believe that when you do, the response you've been waiting for finally arrives. Whether that's emotional reciprocity from someone important, clarity on a situation that's been muddled, or just this profound sense of, I finally stopped betraying myself. That's the win. Scorpio, the moon is in your sign today, and that is not a small thing. You are the host of this energy. While everyone else is feeling the current, you are the current. Scorpio, the moon in your sign is illuminating your first house, your identity, your presence, how you move through the world. And Mars in Cancer in your 9th house is activating your philosophy, your beliefs, the lens through which you make sense of everything that happens to you. Today, something you've believed about yourself, maybe something limiting, maybe something that has kept you from claiming what you actually want, is up for revision. The trine between your moon and Mars today says, the story you've been telling isn't the only story, and maybe it's time to act from a different one. For Scorpio, winning today looks like emotional sovereignty. Knowing what you want and letting yourself have it without guilt, without needing to justify it to anyone, without shrinking it into something more acceptable. Your depth is not the problem. It never was. Today is the day you finally stop apologizing for it. Pisces, even though you're not directly in this trine, you are water. You feel this. And with Mars in Cancer activating your 5th house of creativity, expression, and love, and the Scorpio moon in your 8th house of transformation and depth, today you are being asked to create something real from what you feel. Not managed, not filtered, real. The risk that feels too exposed? Today, take it. Even if you're not a water sign, this moon in Scorpio trine Mars in Cancer is still moving through your chart, still activating something. The question is, which area of your life is asking for emotional honesty combined with intentional action right now? For Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, this trine is stirring something practical, a decision you've known the right answer to for a while. Today you have the emotional clarity and the drive to finally act on it. For fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, this energy is grounding you, pulling you down from your head and into your body, into your gut. The thing you've been overthinking. Today, your instincts know. Trust them. For air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, the Scorpio moon is in territory that asks you to go deeper than analysis, to feel without immediately interpreting. The trine to Mars in Cancer is pushing something through. Let it. So what do you actually do today? Here's what I'd tell you, and what I'm doing myself right now. Pay attention to what keeps coming up. The thought you've had 3 times this week, the conversation you keep almost having, the decision you keep approaching and then backing away from. Under moon in Scorpio trine Mars in Cancer, those are not random. Those are signals. The part of you that knows what you need is being amplified today, and it's specifically asking to be acted on, not just acknowledged. If something in your gut is saying it's time to have the honest conversation, have it. If you've been orbiting a decision and your instincts are clear, even if your fear isn't, trust the instinct. If you know what you want and the only thing stopping you is the story you keep telling yourself about why you can't have it, today is the day you challenge that story. The moon in Scorpio trine. Mars in Cancer doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards emotional courage, the kind that's quiet, rooted, honest. And the thing about a trine is it doesn't last forever. This alignment is exact today. The current is strongest right now, in this moment. If you wait, if you let the old fear win again, the window closes, and you're back to managing what you feel instead of moving with it. I'm not saying be reckless. I'm saying be real. There's a difference. And today, that difference matters. I genuinely believe today is one of those rare days where the gap between what you feel and what you do about it becomes almost nothing, where the depth of your emotional world and the power of your capacity to act from it finally, briefly, completely align. For some of you, that looks like a conversation that changes everything. For others, it's a decision that's been waiting months. For some, it's a moment of radical inner honesty that unlocks something you didn't know was locked. And for others, it's just this quiet, undeniable sense of, I know what I need, and I'm not going to pretend I don't anymore. Whatever form it takes for you today, it's not coincidence. The moon in Scorpio, Mars in Cancer, 18 degrees, a perfect trine. The universe doesn't do that for no reason, and I think it's doing it for you. So feel it. Move with it. Stop waiting for conditions that are never going to be perfect. Today, in this moment, the current is with you. If you're still scared, good. That means it matters. Feel it and do the thing anyway. That's what today is for. If you're still here, thank you. Genuinely. If this landed for you and you want to keep going deeper into this kind of content, hit subscribe. It means more than I can explain, and it makes sure you don't miss what's coming next. And please drop a comment right now. I want to know what today is stirring up for you. What's the thing you've been circling that maybe today you're finally ready to do something about? I read every single one. And I think we're all feeling this together right now, each in our own way. Trust what you feel. Act from it. And I'll see you in the next one.